Good morning, FYE students. The second portion of our workshop today, November 20th, is on the Oxnard College Foundation Scholarship Application Process. With us this morning is a special guest, Ms. Connie Owens, who is with the Oxnard College Foundation, and she is the Community
Development and Institutional Advancement Specialist.
Please help me welcome Ms. Connie Owens.
Thank you. I'm here today really to help take some financial stress off of students. And what the Oxnard College Foundation is, first of all, is we're 501c3, so we are the nonprofit entity that is here at the college. What my foundation does is we raise money for Oxnard College, for their students, for facilities, for faculty, for anything that has to do with Oxnard College. That's our mission statement. So one thing I am going to show you today is how easy it is to apply for Oxnard College scholarships. We give away around $250,000 every year to students. There's 3 different categories. They are our entering students who are coming straight from high school. They are our continuing students, which are here and they're going to continue on. And then there are transferring students. So we do even have scholarships for those students that are finishing up here and moving on to their 4-year university. One thing to note is there's special ways there are only ways that you can use your scholarship funding. And these rules and regulations have been developed by not only the foundation, but also by our donors. Our donors, we have to answer to the IRS because it's a nonprofit, and so they have to be done completely legal, and they can only be used to fund certain things. And they are tuition. They are fees that are here at the college, or at your 4-year, and they are books, which can be now new, used, or rented through the bookstore. And then the 4th way is school supplies. Now that will cover anything that's on your syllabus for your classes that are here at Oxnard College. And that also includes 1 computer per student. Just one your whole life. That's all we'll cover. And that is a rule that the donors make me adhere to. So, next thing is we do them online. They will be online. They're not online yet. The reason I wait is because I'm still getting more scholarship donors giving me their funds. So I'm waiting. They will be ready, I'm hoping, at the end of December or the very beginning of January. And once they're ready, we'll be sending out these postcards, and they'll be all over campus. And the campus is going to be able to, what it is, it's a website. So we have in here 4 easy steps for your scholarship. One is you go to the website, which if you look on,
just go up and do it.
let's see if I can get it on. Yeah, if you look on your Oxnard College page, right here is the Oxnard College Foundation button. And when you go to that button, let's see if I can figure out how to go to the button. Then the foundation's website will come up. I don't know how to make it come up, but it'll come up. It'll come up on yours. Okay, so no big deal. Oh, did it come up? Oh, yay! Okay, so this is our picture of our board of directors, most of them. And you will go over to this side and you'll go under scholarships. And what you do in there, you'll pick if you're an entering, continuing, or transferring. You're only going to apply in 1 category. And then once you've done that, you're going to, I have samples of these to hand out. I did draw the line draft on these because I don't want anyone filling these out. You're welcome to look at them. This is what it's going to look like. It's just, it's not the right one yet. It won't be until it gets final. So you're going to fill this out. Very simple on the first page. So, and the second page is going to be the only thing that might be hard for any student that they think is going to be hard, and that is to answer a scholarship essay question. It's really only 3 to 4 paragraphs. This is what was asked last year on page 2, section 4, and it really just tells a little bit about you. The reason we have to have an essay is because we have to have a legal competition going on. But because we have so much funding, most students, if they've filled out this application properly, will be eligible to get at least 1 scholarship. It's a very simple process. So once you've written your essay, and this is the other thing I'd ask you to take time on. Take some time, write it a couple of times, make sure you've got what your feelings are about whatever the question's going to be. This is what we really push through our foundation and with these scholarships is Oxnard College student success. We want our students at Oxnard College to succeed and to move on to their 4-year university or to get their certificate. And having the funding to help you with some of the more expensive items, such as your books, such as your tuition, it does help a lot. Now, if you go to the next section, which is section 5, these are all the different scholarships that we have that are available. You're going to need to go down and figure out where you fit in, what criteria you actually fit in under. And once you do, you're going to mark off that scholarship. Everything in section A, the foundation has a scholarship selection committee. They are in charge of selecting all of the recipients for everything in section A. So there's going to be a difference. When you get to section B, everybody in section B, which is going to be on page, right now, page 8, these donors all want to see your package and make their own selection. So these are going to all need an additional copy for me to send to each donor. Now, when I'm finished, I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that. But section B, the reason it's different is because the selection process is going to be a little different. So after section B is finished, then you're going to keep going. You're going to sign that everything's been truthful that you said, and then you're going to see an explanation of how many copies to make. So here's what I want you to do once you got it all done. Because your instructions are on here. But I find that a lot of students seem to skim over the instructions. We ask. So if you have questions, read these instructions first. If you still have questions, we don't mind answering them. But we will ask you to read it first because most of your answers will be answered by the first cover page. This one you don't need a copy. When you're finished with your package, you can throw that away. Now, in addition, you're going to need 2 evaluations. There is an evaluation when you got, I wish I could get to this page, but there is an evaluation form on here that your faculty can easily go to the website and easily write you one quickly, which is here. Let's see if it's on there. If it is, then it's not on there because they're not ready. Because we put them out each year. But the faculty will be able to just fill it out there, or you can copy it and they can fill it out by hand, or they can write a letter of recommendation. Some like to do that, some spend hours on it, some need to be able to do it pretty quickly just to make sure you do know your faculty, and they'll write you the letters of recommendation. Okay, so once your complete package is ready, then that's what I call the original package, and that's going to come straight to my office. I had to store them for 7 years, but I'm going to keep your original package. You're going to make copies of this. I need 1 set of copies for section A. That goes to all of my board members like Jeff, and he's going to take them. They're split up, and that's how they do their selection process. That section B I was talking about, if you qualify for, let's say 3 categories in section B, I need 3 more sets because each one of those are going to be mailed to the donors. They'll destroy them afterwards. It's a lot of sets sometimes, but that's the way our process works. Maybe one of these days we could do it all online, but most of my board members still need a hard copy. So one day we'll be able to do it, but we're not ready yet. So you have to make your copies. Now, once it's all set, we go through a process of selecting them. It's a very rigorous process to make sure everybody gets, first of all, what they qualify for. Some of them have to do with GPAs. A lot of them you have to have a 4.0. Some of them are as low as a 2.0. So we do have a really wide range. Some of them have to be in a certain major. We do have a lot of STEM scholarships. The Edison International gives $1,000 to 25 students in the STEM programs that are transferring. We match those funds, so we give 50 students $500 while they're entering or continuing in the STEM program. There's a lot of STEM money to be given as scholarships to help success, and that's what we want as student success. Okay, so once you've been told, you'll be told through a letter that you've been awarded a certain amount of whatever scholarship you were awarded. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be a third one. Once that's done, in the letter, you're also going to be invited to a ceremony. We have an award ceremony where you'll get your certificate. Then the funding doesn't start until the fall of 2016. This is kind of a whole year process. We're starting it out there, applications, you get the award, and then you get to start using it the fall of 2016. Now, that brings us to our reimbursement process. So what happens is, this isn't free money, this is money that belongs to you as long as you do what the donors say. And the donors gave you the rules of what you can use it for. Tuition, fees, books, school supplies, and a computer. We do feel every student needs 1 computer. You can't get a second computer, but 1 computer is always available. You have to purchase it, and you bring us the receipt, and we reimburse you. We do that once a semester per student, otherwise we do writing checks all year long. And you fill out this form that's going to go with it. You'll attach, all the instructions are on here, you'll attach all of your receipts and bring it back to my office, and we go through it and we make a reimbursement check for each student that once I get this done. So that's our process. You do have, with most of our scholarships, 2 full years to use it. Some of our scholarships, it's $500 in the fall, $500 in the spring. If you don't use it, it's expired after that. So we have to follow the rules of each donor. We got lots of rules. I don't like them, but we got lots of rules. So you have to be sure you read all of your instructions. Everything you get, it's in there. It's just hard to make sure you get all of those instructions in there to get your proper funding. So, are there any questions on scholarships? Yes.
So you wait for all the donors. The reason why you haven't put the application up yet, you're trying to get any donor that wants to donate scholarship money before you send out a letter. Now, let's say a donor comes in after the application is up. How do you make that information available to the student?
Well, it's hard because I do try to play fair for all students.
Right.
And if I change my application after a date, and let's say 100 students have already downloaded it, filled it out, and they wouldn't know about this new scholarship, it wouldn't be fair to everybody. So we do wait for the next year to put it in there. That's why I do wait till the last minute. A lot of our donors are in the process of it. I don't make them fund it, I just make them tell me exactly how to put it in the application ahead of time.
So if a donor said to you now, hey, I want to give you X amount of dollars for fall 2016, it's probably not going to get to you until May or February. Can you still put that scholarship up, even if you don't know the money's going to come?
I can still put it up if they give me their criteria,
Mhm.
but what I won't do is I won't fund it
Hmm.
to the students. It'll be available to the students,
Okay.
but until we have funding for it, I wouldn't be able to fund it.
Because you're gonna have that happen.
I do have it happen all the time. Yeah, yeah, I do have. Well, and a lot of people, they do it annually, every year, and sometimes I'll go ahead and fund it if I know I'm going to send them an invoice and get it. But that's just how the world works.
And
you
there's
know.
a deadline, so if, let's say somebody just didn't read everything you put out, go to the website, and they come to you after the deadline saying, hey, I want to apply.
Well, there again, I try to play the exact equal to everybody. And if every other student got it in by the deadline, which our deadline is on the card, we already know that's going to be February the 18th by 3 p.m. in my office. And usually that's the busiest day of the year, is right that day. But I do not let anything come in afterwards, otherwise it's not fair to everybody else that worked so hard to get it on time. It's sad, but that's just our rules. Yes.
So would the student or the scholarship applicants have to go to your office and turn in the hard copy packets?
All of their packets, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because no email, no online applications are accepted.
It's typable online, you'll be able to type it online, so that my donors who are doing the selection can read it, it'll look nice and neat. You can do it by hand, but my suggestion would be do it nice and neat. It's easier because you can spell check it, you can do everything online, but then you make the hard copies and hand them in. Yes, yes.
So do I understand correctly that in order to be a recipient of the scholarship you were awarded, that you actually have to pay in advance for all the
For everything.
particulars of the scholarship?
Yes.
So what if the student just simply doesn't have the funding to actually, like this would be an opportunity for them to pay for books. They don't have the funding ahead of time. Is there a way that the foundation office can work with them in conjunction of getting these supplies if they just
You know,
simply don't
I've
have
had that question come to me a
Yeah.
lot, and we do not really have any other way of
So
doing
it's always
it.
through
It's
the-
always done, and the student somehow finds a way.
So they maybe borrow money.
Exactly,
from
and
family.
and my suggestion is once you've gotten your fund, you've already paid for it, you get your funds, save that for the next semester. So you'll have the funding ready to put out when it's time to be funded. So
Okay.
this is meant just for school supplies.
Gotcha.
Donors want our students to be successful
Right.
here at Oxnard College. It won't cover other colleges, it won't cover going anywhere else,
Yeah.
just Oxnard College, or once you're transferred out, it's your last scholarship you can get with us, it's your last transferring scholarship.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people go to different colleges. We can cover, if half of your units are at Oxnard College, we can cover that half.
So you can get a scholarship from Ventura College and
Yes.
Oxnard College if you have students at both.
Yes, you can.
And then there is no limit to the number of scholarship applications that you can apply for, especially in Section B, right?
There's no limit.
If you meet the
If you
qualifications.
meet the qualifications. Because if you don't, like, we have a veteran scholarship, and we insist that they bring us the bill that goes along, proves they're veteran, and we have people checking it because they go down and check everything. And so if that person was awarded just that scholarship, and she couldn't prove that she was a veteran because she didn't really read it, she lost her scholarship.
Have you had
That's sad.
have you had a donor write a set of requirements that the student can't meet?
There's a few. There's some that are, but that's the way, they're met very rarely, let's put it that way. And their money stays with us until someone else comes and meets the criteria, because that's what they want to give their funds to. Any more questions? Yes?
Yes, so going back to Gavin's question earlier about helping them on some of these items, I think in particular the computer equipment, because it is a sizable amount.
Yes, it is.
Is there any way that the students would be able to give you a copy of the invoice afterwards, but you know, the foundation advances part of the fee, or?
It has to be funded, and they have to be enrolled in their classes before any of this will even happen. So the first thing is to enroll in your class, and once you can prove you've enrolled, and you're either, most of these are full-time students too. And some of them will say both full-time, part-time. Part-time is only 6 units or more. 6 units to 11 units. Full-time, you have to be enrolled 12 units. So we keep it even so that every student has the exact same rule to follow. If we make an exception for one, I feel you have to make an exception for everyone. So that's why we try to stick to our rules.
Some of your checks and balances is the reason why you don't give money up front.
Exactly.
They can spend it in other.
And yeah, we have to ensure that they're spent it on what we are told we are allowed to use it for. Yeah. Yes.
So some of the successful scholarship applications, what would you say sets them apart? Could you give us some tips and advice on how to put forward a really strong application?
Well, my one suggestion is keep your GPA nice and high. That's what most of our students do that are very successful, is keeping their GPA nice and high. There are a lot of different scholarships in here that you have to put in an additional essay because they want you to write something like El Benijo, why you think you'd be El Benijo or whatever female version. But there's essays, if you write a second essay, donors love it, and not that many students are willing to put out that extra effort to write that second essay, but the ones that do are usually the ones that qualify. And then the last thing would be your essay, just your regular essay. If you make it from your heart, it'll show, and Jeff knows, he's read these essays, and it's very heartwarming.
What about making sure they answer each question? 'Cause
Well, every question, I mean, these are adults now. Every question should be answered and answered correctly. You're right. And that's not up to me. I'll tell you, I do not select scholarships. I couldn't select a scholarship if I tried. I'd give everybody something. That's why we have selection committees that do it, and it's up to each selection committee member to decide if they like it neat, if they like every answer, done, if they like that. It's all up. It's an individual thing. It's done from the heart. So that would be my suggestion: is make sure you follow the rules and write your essay from your heart.
And if they have questions, they can call you?
They can call or come up to our office. My student workers are very well versed on all of this. I know ASG does like to do a training session. A lot of times they'll do it in the library so everybody can just open it right then and there. And then you can save. And the only thing you really, it's going to take a little bit more time on is the essays. And then getting your evaluation sheets. If you do that 2 weeks in advance, you'll give the faculty plenty of time to get it done for you.
And so then if they request, if the scholarship is published online, say early January, as soon as the student finds that, then they can request it so that gives about a month.
Exactly.
5 weeks for the professors to fill it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the sooner the better, yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.